All right, we're doing Lookout Peak today, up the top of Immigration Canyon. First, I think first trail run for me back in Salt Lake after the Ultra Trail Snowdonia trip. Just starting to get out and move my body a little bit. Generally, hopefully just a relatively easy day out here. Enjoy the trails as things start melting out in the area, coming out of spring. We got Tyler and Teddy along, heading up Lookout Peak right up there. Tyler and I both have some more fun upcoming races, and including some matchups with the Boulder children, Boulder Boys, Boulder Babies, whatever. Boulder Bros. A couple of those matchups coming in the next month or two. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit.
Tell me your biggest learning about Snowdonia.
Man.
What'd you learn about yourself or about your process as a runner?
Oh, I like that question, man. Dude, well, first of all, like I've said it on other platforms already, but one of my favorite race experiences ever. One thing I'm really proud of is the race didn't exactly go how I wanted it to go, but I kind of stayed mentally strong and stayed tough enough and got a finish that I was really, really proud of. And that's like the second time in a row now that's happened for me at 100 miles. The last time being UTMB last summer. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've had some really, really solid 100-mile races that I was really proud of from like a personal performance standpoint.
Yeah.
UTMB wasn't that, and Snowdonia wasn't that, but I feel like I'm just kind of exploring myself through these 100-mile journeys.
Tell me more about exploring yourself.
Yeah, just learning like how I can deal with, you know, sort of adversity or things not going to plan. How I can, as a runner, troubleshoot things logistically on the fly and as things get hard. And yeah, just kind of exploring those limits of kind of mental toughness and physical toughness. Like this is one that I felt really proud of in that respect. And yeah, if I'm being honest, like I had these ambitions going into Snowdonia of like probably at least finishing on the podium, and I figured I had a chance to win it.
Oh.
And yeah, like I think a couple years ago, there's a version of me who would have gone into a race like that, and maybe when it started getting really tough, almost like letting my body shut down and giving into these problems that you face in the course of 100 mountain miles, kind of giving into them and letting them like convince me that I couldn't go anymore and I would end up with a DNF. So now, yeah, this was another experience where I started falling behind my goals, started having some issues eating and whatnot, but instead of like giving into it, I troubleshot and I stayed tough and I still got a finish, which is way better than traveling all that way for a DNF. Yeah, so I kind of had this hope that I'd go out there to Snowdonia, you know, 24, 25 hours, finish on the podium, and then recover, and looking forward to High Lonesome 100 later in July, maybe with people taking me a little more seriously for that, and taking myself a little more seriously for it. But I don't know. Yeah, that didn't happen. I'm still just as excited to kind of finish recovering a little bit and start training for High Lonesome, because we got We got our work cut out for us there, dude.
Yeah, we do. Look at this sweet little bear. Look at this sweet little bear.
The camera loves him. So, I think I heard the Boulder Boys talking on a podcast recently about the Salt Lake City group, and kind of talking about how like they don't even know who they're talking about. Like we don't have, I guess because we don't have a podcast, or we don't have like a defined group.
I'm too busy for podcasts. Like, I'm too busy training for podcasts.
I kind of have the thought that in the history of running and trail running groups and stuff, it seems like things are kind of cool until you make it a podcast.
Yeah, until you put alliteration on it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe though, to help them out and help with their side of the trash talking, like, should we define ourselves a little more? Do you think there's a name that we should ask them to call us?
Boulder children, call us Daddies.
The Salt Lake City Daddies?
It also helps that we're all dads.
I think that could work, because we've got a pretty solid like core group here that really likes to run together and are all, I think, dads or soon to be dads, right? Like, I guess I'm the last one on that train. We'll give it a couple months. We got Tyler, Caleb, very new dad, Caleb.
Absolute daddy.
Aubrey.
Absolute daddy.
We got Finn Melanson.
Oh, absolute daddy.
Dude, maybe the daddy of them all. Finn Melanson with the recent Cocodona smash. We got Anthony, great dad.
Absolute daddy.
Absolute daddy. So yeah, I think that works. So Boulder Boys, yeah, if you just want to start referring to us as daddy or the daddies, I think that'll work for everyone.
You could say Daddy Tyler, Daddy Mike.
So we do have a group text going that is called the Daddies and the Baddies. The Baddies being the spouses of the daddies who we mentioned and introduced previously.
And the Baddies being the spouses of the daddies, of course.
The Baddies being the badass spouses that we all have, who are a huge part of the Salt Lake City community, running community, and our friend group. And then there's also, I think, two other people in that group chat. There's the Daddies, the Baddies, and then there's Garrett and Jacob.
Just absolute daddies, still. Not in the traditional sense of the word, but absolute daddies nonetheless.
So yeah, High Lonesome 100 that's what's next for me. Tyler also planning to line up at High Lonesome, but likely has some more racing to do between now and then. So yeah, we might be approaching High Lonesome slightly differently, TBD, but I know for me at least, Tyler's main goal, like honestly, maybe only goal at High Lonesome is Matt Daniels. Gotta face off with a Boulder boy.
Yeah, it's 2v1.
It's 2v1, yeah.
Which is nice because then we can both grab a win off of a Boulder boy, but also if he beats us both, I guess he gets 2 points.
Ooh, yeah, the stakes are maybe a little higher for him.
That's a big if.
Yeah, massive if. Yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong, Matt is objectively a much better runner than I am. I think you could certainly hold your own against him on any given day in most ultra marathons. Yeah, he's got a pretty special set of wheels, but I think you can hold your own. Me, not so much. However, I've seen his 100-mile resume, dude, and it doesn't really intimidate me much, and I truly believe I have a shot at beating him at High Lonesome, so I think it'll be fun to try.
Are you looking to do hard rock someday?
I would love to, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what, like I look at High Lonesome as kind of a development race for that. You get high altitude. It's clearly not as early and vertical as hard rock. But me personally, I haven't done great with altitude. So that's one of my purposes in running that race is to get some more experience and just to see some races as opportunities to develop and build skills and build experience so that when the big ones come, you're a little bit more ready. Not to say, I mean, I think it's exciting because I think High Lonesome is growing and building into this one of the premier 100-mile events of the country.
Yeah, and there's a very competitive field, like Matt Daniels aside. Like,
Yeah.
it's a competitive race. But yeah, you've got some other ambitions and kind of ways you're approaching it. With maybe burying a little Boulder guy would be a nice cherry on top, huh?
That would be great.
All right, coming down off Lookout Peak. It's about a 10-mile round trip, out and back from the car. Coming back down into the scrub oak. Took a little spill. A little bit of a spill. Camera unharmed, I think.
How are the legs feeling post Snowdonia? What are you, a little over 1 week?
Yeah, what are we? We're
Week and a half.
post Snowdonia right now. Definitely, definitely still feeling some of that just kind of deep fatigue or flatness, even a little shorter breath, I'd say, on like the climb. But yeah, overall feeling good and healthy. Just give it some time. I think I'd attribute that, like still recovering deep kind of fatigue to probably the clumsiness that led to that fall back there, which unfortunately I didn't get on camera, but not too bad. Yeah, feeling pretty good. Still a little bit more recovering to do. And then looking forward to the rest of the summer.